Stream's on.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm gonna be streaming a little bit of Witcher 2 today.
3.
Or 3. Sorry, my mind is like turned off. You're like 3. Oh gosh.
We have Witcher 2 if you want to stream that way.
Oh, I'm good. I'll do just this one for now. This over here. Like a big cluster of crap. And stuff. I found these like really handy dandy Thin Mints. These are pretty good. Although they're very difficult to open. They must want you to break all your nails. So they're really good. Although I think I prefer the real Thin Mints, but you know, beggars can't be choosers when it comes to Girl Scout cookies, you know? That there.
Giddy up.
That's what I was doing.
Take it easy.
Hey Leon, how's it going? Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm like snacking on candy and stuff. Well, mints. What's new with you?
Slow now. Whoa.
I wonder who does
Faster.
the voice for him. I better get off this. I better get off. It's a weird place. Gather ingredients. Like 3 at once. Oh, nice. Wow, they died like instantly. That was quick. Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, the Twitch does that when you follow, which is great, because, like, you know, I need that when, like, you know, so people can know. I was at a retreat today. It was a young adult retreat, and I was gone most of the day. I woke up at, like, 5. Well, I went to bed around 3 last night because Bieber was annoying the shit out of me and would not leave me alone. I had to put my phone into, like, airplane mode to get him to shut up. Although I think I finally shook him off because he hasn't talked to me all day, and I'll tell you why. Hey, Goon City, how's it going? I might just call you Goon because your name is Resident Goon City. It's better than calling you Raccoon City after that thing, but, it's too bad you can't use these boats. That would be so badass if you could sail the boat. But, yeah, so I went to bed, and then, like, my roommate was snoring on the top of his lungs. And I just, no offense, Jeremy, but I just could not sleep until about, no, maybe I didn't go to bed at 3. I don't know. All I know is that when I finally fell asleep, it's when he woke up because he finally stopped snoring. It sounds awful to say, but find a way to get to Fike Isle. Is there no way to sail this boat? What's my name, mate? My roommate. Oh yeah, Bieber was in love. It's crazy, because he was trying to, like, pester me into, like, a relationship, and I was like, I don't really want a relationship with you. Because, and I told him because I didn't think he was responsible and stuff. And I mean, I told him that a million times already. But then, like, today, like, he was hounding me until I was like, alright, I'll think about it. Just so he would, like, leave me alone. And so... Oh. Craig, it's nice to meet you. I'll try to remember Craig. Usually when people don't put their names in their thing, I get confused and I have woman moments. But I'll try to remember it. Craig is Raccoon City. Resident Green City. So, this morning when like, everything was going wrong, because, like, you know, the devil just, I guess, didn't want me to go to, like, didn't want me to go to this retreat or something. I don't know what the hell was going on, but that's another story in itself. But, like, that Bieber guy, he, like, texted me, and he's like, I got an important question to ask you, and I'm like, okay. And he's like, I want you to move out. He asked me if I would move with him. It's okay, if, you know, my real name isn't Luna, my real name's Carrie, so, I mean, if you can't remember it either, that's okay. I'm okay with you calling me, like, Luna. So, if, you know, if I don't remember your name, I apologize in advance. I'm just, you know, oh, I hate these bitches that are about to come up to us. Like monsters shuffling around. Gosh, they're like everywhere. Oh, but fucking hell. The fuck? Don't you hear it? Die! Holy fucking hell, that was, like, difficult. Not, you know what I mean, not fucking hell. Okay, so he said to me, he came to me and he was like, yeah, I've gotta, like, ask you an important question. And I said, okay, well, what's the question? And so when I met him, he came with this guy that was 59 years old and had not one single tooth in his mouth. He looked like, have you ever seen like those like shows like Breaking Bad where they have those people that do meth and their face is all like distorted and like leathery and worn out because they've done too much meth? Oh, I see. Leon. Well, basically it looked like he was like on meth or something. Not Bieber, but his little pal. The thing with Bieber is that he leeches on people. So he doesn't care who he leeches on as long as he can use them. And so, and I figured this out because what 20-year-old man would be caught dead hanging around with somebody that looked like he was a meth dealer? And Bieber didn't look like he took meth. I mean, he said, oh, I met him at this church function. I knew his daughter. I don't judge people on their ways of life, but I stay far away from anything that's illegal activity because, like, I've got a career to uphold, and if I'm doing illegal activity, I'm gonna lose my career. And so I just, I gotta play it safe, man. Like, I mean, I'm cool and all, but like, meth isn't cool, okay? It like destroys your body from what I've read. Destroys your body and your skin and your face. I mean, he looked awful and he was sitting there chewing like tobacco. And anyway, long story short, the guy looked like a train wreck and I felt afraid because I know people that do drugs because you go to college and you meet these people and like from the activity and the things that they did that I witnessed, I made it in my mind to pick and choose my friends and stay far away from them. And so, like, a lot of times Bieber was like, oh, well, I can have Steven, and that's the guy that looked like the meth head. He's like, I can have Steven pick you up if you want, and we could go fishing. And I said, that's not what I want to do. He's like, why? I said, I don't trust your friend Steven. He's like, oh, he's a nice guy. Come on, come on. I'm like, no. And then, like, I made it absolutely clear to him that I wanted nothing to do with his friend Steven. That if he wanted a date ever, he was going to have to figure out to get his own car, his own job, in his own way. No. He wanted me to go in the car, in the meth head's car, because he didn't have a car, so he wanted the meth head to pick me up and take me and him on a date, with him just being the fucking third wheel, the meth head being the third wheel. And I said no, and he's like, why not? And I said, because it's weird. No way. Like, I do not want to be, like, for all I know, he could have crack under his steering wheel. I don't know what he does. And I don't trust him. Like, when you get alone in a car with a man, men can turn into animals when you're alone with them. Like, I mean, I've been on dates before with guys and you get they look like a gentleman on the street, and then the second that you're alone with them, they turn into like this animal. Do you have any oh crap, I get crap in my mouth. What kind of beer do you have? No, because that'll make me sick. Do you have other beer? So yeah, just no, exactly. Like, I mean, this guy, he's got like this really soft looking face. Imagine like so soft, it's like young Macaulay Culkin, like baby skin soft face. And he has these cute lips, and he's got this cute hair, and these cute eyes, and then he's got his disgusting ass friend in the corner. Now, you know,
Coke in here, you want Coke?
What about the freezer? It had like some like stuff in my mouth. Anyway, long story short, he tells me that he can't get a car and thinks it's a stupid idea that he should get his license because he can't use his car and that his parents won't let him get his license. First of all, that's red flag number 1. When you tell me as a grown man that your mommy and daddy will not let you get a license, I say bye-bye, sayonara, because I'm sorry, I'm not in high school anymore. I'm a 27-year-old woman. I want a real fucking man, not some like childish kid. And so he told me, oh, don't worry, I have all this life planned out. He's like, me and Steven are gonna move in together in North Carolina. I said, why are you and Steven moving in together? He's like, oh, because we're like really, it's really cheap there, and I figured if we shared a house, we could split it and it'd be really, really cheap. And I was like, oh, hey Jessie, how's it going? She's in the other stream. The white wolf or the butcher of the black man. I'm a nerd for Witcher 3. I know. So as I was saying, he's like, oh, I'm gonna move in with them there. I'm like, I don't think you should do that. And the reason why is because he doesn't know him. You don't know somebody until you've known them for a long time. And when somebody looks like they're on meth, you run the other way, dude. Like, what are you doing? You're ruining your life before it can even begin. Like, he's 20 years old. Get her to come here. Jesse, I'm on Twitch if you want to see the other comments in there. It's the same username as my YouTube if you want to go there. Or rather, Lisa. So, Jesse is also known as Lisa. So, like, I told him, I said, I don't want to, like, be a part of that life with Steven, the method. And I said, so if you wish to hang out with me, you're going to have to leave Steven behind. Okay? Because I don't want a chaperone. It says, my sister has a boyfriend who is 22 and he was controlled by his parents. Very immature young man. Didn't like him from the start. She saw sense. Like, what do you mean she saw sense? Yeah, I looked at him and I was like, this is a bad idea, and I made it clear that I didn't want to be around him. And then he was like, well, I could have my mom drop me off at the movies or whatever, and I'm like, no. Anyway, long story short, he said, I have an important question for you today. I said, okay. And he was like, I want you to move in with me in North Carolina with Steven. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we already bought the house already. We can't, like, refund it. We can't, we lost our money. We have to move. Like, he's like, if you trust me and you love me, you'll move for me, right? Because you want to date me, right? I'm like, no, I don't. And he was like, oh, she dumped him? Good. I'm glad that she dumped him, Resident Goon City, or Craig, rather. But yeah, and I said absolutely positively not. Like, I am not going to the middle of buttfuck nowhere. I mean, I don't know if you guys know about the terrain of the United States, but North Carolina, and no offense to anybody who's from there, but it's like the armpit of America, okay? It's one of those armpit states, although there's a few other states that are worse off. And, like, there's nothing to do there. I mean, I know people that live there and they hate it. They're like, there's nothing to do here and you can't get out of there. They can't get out because it's so small, and unless you're like in like some like really populated city there that's like probably like about a fraction of the amount of people in it that there is in Orlando, there is like nothing to do, and it's buttfuck cold in the winter, and it's buttfuck hot in the summer, and you're shoveling snow that's heavy, and it's like, if I'm gonna shovel snow, I'm gonna be in like an actual decent place with snow, with like New York or like maybe California. I would never move to the middle of fucking nowhere. Okay, oh, you live in Germany? That's neat. I didn't know that. Yeah, so you don't want to move to North Carolina. And he's like, oh, it's really cheap. I'm like, you can find really cheap apartments in Orlando, Florida. I mean, you guys know where Orlando is, right? That's where Walt Disney World is. I live about an hour from there. Although I do go to college there, but I'm taking a break from college to like go and I was taking a break to go and recover. My sister is a redhead, so she has a temper. She once told me that if he snores anyway, she'll grab a pillow. I understand that feeling quite well, because my roommate snores so loud, he'd probably scare all the monsters out of the night. He snores so loud. If I had a penny for every octave he hit per each snore he did, I would be a billionaire, okay? He knows how to hit every single note of the loudest sound possible when he's snoring. He's like, like, I can't even do it because I'm a female and my like vocal cords don't reach that level, but it's fucking loud. It's like I can't do it very well. I'm allowed to make fun of you. I'm allowed to make fun of you. Just because you're loud. Don't get mad. But I understand why she feels that way. But yeah, I was like looking at him like so for one, this Bieber guy, did you just let one rip? Oh god, I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, Justin Bieber, I like to call him. So Justin Bieber, what was I talking about Justin Bieber? Where the fuck did this monster come from? But yeah, Justin Bieber, if he really wanted me to, like, I only met him like once. I never met him in person other than that one time that I did at the youth group. And he's like, will you run away with me, please? And then like the night before, he was sending me like love songs. What, are you crazy? And one of the love songs, I was reading the lyrics, because I do this thing, because like, guys will send me love songs and be like, oh, this reminds me of you, girl. Like, I love you, OMG. And I'm like, okay. Because I know that they'll take that song and they'll send it to 5 other girls. And he always is like eating, snoring, bitching, she'll go mad. That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, like, I can deal with some sounds, but like, snoring, I just can't concentrate when they're like that, because he's just so loud. It's like as if he's screaming in his sleep. I don't even know how he like reaches that octave. Oh, his head is there. But yeah, he somehow knows how to hit that one octave, and I'm just like, how do you reach it? You know, it's so loud. Anyway, as I was saying, I can understand if that guy and I, Bieber, were dating for like a year, or even like, you know, like even if we were just madly in love. I could understand that, asking me to move in. But if you're gonna move in with a girl, don't move her in with some guy that looks like he's gonna, like, rape her in her sleep. Because literally, like, he looked like a hobo that was gonna rape me, okay? I did not want anything to do with him. Like, there was just all kinds of bad mojo, all kinds of bad juju beans coming from that guy, and I did not want any part of it. And usually when my gut says that there's something wrong, I run. And I because every time my gut says there's something wrong with this situation, it's always right. And people are like, oh, that's superstitious. No, like, you just know. Like, you know when something's wrong and when something's off. And it didn't take, you know, a genius for me to figure out that there was something tragically wrong with that gentleman. And this blonde guy is just like, oh, well, you know, give him a chance, give him a chance. Oh, maybe. I mean, because he's telling me, oh, my mom won't let me get my license because she says I need more practice. I'm like, you're fucking 20 years old. What the fuck were you doing for the last 4 damn years? Like, how hard is it for you to practice? And I said, okay, you want to date me because he's been hounding me. I'm like, okay, show me a life, like, show me a pattern. Show me proof that you are gonna, like, advance your life for the better. Because a real man will be like, okay, I'm gonna do this by this time with this amount of money at this exact moment and etc. So, like, for example, my ex, Andrew, he told me, oh, I'm gonna come see you. And I met him online originally, and he was just like, okay, I'm gonna come see you. And I'm like, yeah, okay, buddy, if you say so. I don't believe you. And he's like, no, I'm serious, I'm gonna come see you. And I'm like, okay. I still don't, you know, like, I'll believe it when I see it. And he goes, no, I'm gonna see you like this. He's like, I'm gonna come on Delta Airlines. It's gonna cost me this amount of money. I'm gonna come at this time on this day. And then I'm gonna use a cab to get from point A to point B. I'm gonna bring this, this, and this. And it's gonna be, like, great. And I don't know, like, he'll say, and he's like, oh, and then I'll pay for, like, a rental car with this amount of money. And he gives you the exact dollars, cent, time, and everything. That's a real fucking man. Because he sits there, he plans it, and he organizes. He doesn't be like, oh, I promise that I'm gonna treat you like a princess and buy you whatever you want and take you, like, to Disney Springs and all this shit. Like, what? Like, no, I don't want any of those promises. I want actions and proof. Proof that it's gonna be real. Parents can ruin a guy if they're too overprotective. See it happen in family people just, yo, I agree so too. They homeschooled the kid. They homeschooled him, and that's the big problem right there. You can't homeschool your kids. People are like, oh, well, it's wonderful because they can learn at their own right. The kid is so damn dumb that he said to me, oh, I can't go to work and go to school because, like, I can't concentrate and I'm not good at it. And my mommy told me that I should just stay in school and not work. And I'm like, okay, well then how the hell are you gonna pay for dates? What did Dustin Hoffman Rainman? And I said to him, you can't. Oh, I don't know what that is though. What are those fucking animals over there? Fucking creepy ass creatures. I'm not gonna go over there. But yeah, I didn't trust him because he didn't give me these things and he's giving me excuses. My mommy won't let me. My mommy won't let me. I said, I don't give a shit about what your mommy says. Oh, cool, that's lightning over there. I said, you know, you're a real man. Nobody's stopping you. You can go and rent a cab and go. If you have money for a date, you have money for a cab. He's like, oh, I don't have money for a cab. I'm like, if you can't pay for a fucking cab, you sure as hell can't pay for a date. That's for sure. And, you know, because they're expensive.
Girl, are you on the aisle yet? Does the Xenobox work? Can you hear me?
Can't hear. Great, broke already.
What did you say?
Anyway, as I was saying, she was, you know, the exact time and date and stuff like that, and he couldn't give it to me. He would change his story. He'd be like, oh, well, in April, or, well, in a year, and all this stuff. So when he's telling me, yeah, you gotta, like, come, it sounds like a guy with autism who struggles with social insecurity. You know, I don't really know if he has autism or if he's just plain dumb. And, like, I kept telling him, like, you need your license, you need to go out and get it, or you can't do anything. He's like, well, I don't have a working car. I said, it doesn't matter if your car is working or not, because the second you get it working, you ain't fucking driving it. Duh. And, you know, I was like, you know, if you had a brain in your head, you would just go and get the car fixed. Or not the car fixed, you would just go and get your license and say, look, I have it done. I hope this impresses you. Or even just like, hey, Mom, Dad, can I borrow your car to take this girl on a date? You know, duh. And he's just like, oh, well, they won't let me borrow their car because they don't trust me because I haven't driven enough. And I'm like, then go drive enough or go take driving courses, because they will not pass you until the driving course knows that you're a safe driver. You could pay extra money and they give you good ass classes. That's what I did. I went to driving school and I got good classes and I drive fine now. And stuff like that. And I mean, my parents didn't pay for it, but you know, I had somebody help me with it, but I still did it. It's not about money, okay? It's not about money at all. What it's about is the fact that he's not responsible. You need money to date. You can't just be like, oh, well, money isn't love or blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. You need money. You need money to wipe your ass. You need money to have a roof over your head. You need money to eat. You need money to exist. You can't live without money unless you're living in the forest and you're like hunting like a witcher here. But that guy ain't no witcher. I'll tell you that very much. I'm probably stronger than him because I have more meat on my bones than he does. He's like a twig. Okay? Even the real beaver has more meat on his bones. But like, this guy, he doesn't have his shit together. Like, I can understand if your money was tight, but you had a car and you had your place. Maybe I would work with you if you're like super hot, okay? But if you don't have it together at all, like he doesn't even have a license. Okay, he can't improve himself and he's at the mercy of other people then. I can't deal with it. So if he says he would pick you up in a taxi, pay for a meal and a few drinks, I mean, I would consider it if the guy had a life plan. That's the thing. Like, that's a good temporary solution for a taxi. But, like, then I'm gonna want to know, well, what are you gonna do as a man to try to further your life to where you could be on your own and not need a taxi? You know what I mean? Because eventually he's gonna complain about money because, like, well, most guys I know complain about money. Like, I don't know any guy that doesn't whine about money. Because every man wants to keep their money. You know, they like their money, and I can't blame them. Everybody likes money. They work hard for it. So, you need an equal partner too. Someone who's intelligent and self-sufficient, otherwise it's not gonna... Well, that's not the problem, Goon. Like, seriously, there is no equality between me and him here. I have the license, he doesn't. I live in my own place with a roommate. He lives with his mommy and daddy and his little brother and his older brother. Okay? We are, like, totally on two different social platforms. What does my roommate do? What does your Mrs. do, mate? What is a Mrs. do, mate? I think you mean roommate.
The storm, damn it.
Oh, I see. Okay. But at any rate, so He sat there and fought with me over the phone, insisting that and mind you, I had posted a picture on, I don't have one. I'm at the point where I'm happy being on my own. Oh, he doesn't have a missus. Okay. Well, I mean, like, see, I can understand that thing to a degree, like, cause yeah, everybody has to put effort into a relationship, no kidding. But the guy isn't even trying to get on his feet. He isn't even really trying to further his life. He tried to tell me at first that he was going to school, and then he said, oh, I don't know what school I'm going to. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know what school you're going to? You just told me you're in school. And then he changes it again and again and again. And I'm like, what's going on with this here? Like, why aren't you being honest with me, you know what I mean? So I don't know what to believe from him. He kind of, like, says all kinds of different stories every time, and, you know, like, we were talking, and I said, like, look, all guys want sex, okay? Whether they want to admit it or not, whether they are religious or not, instinctively, every single guy subliminally wants to get laid. Okay, I don't know a single guy that doesn't. I mean, there's some that may be real gentlemen about it, but like, for the most part, all you want to have sex. And I can't blame you for not, I can't fault you for that, because it's like, that's how we keep the world going round. Okay? But like, I told him, I said, look, if you don't have a working job or whatever, how can you, because he's hit on me before sexually and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, you want some kind of intimacy with me, but you can't even afford, you don't even have a job. So like, how could you afford to buy yourself like condoms? Like, I'm not saying I would fuck the guy, but like, seriously, like, if you're gonna like hit on a girl suggestively and you don't even have a job, that's like, that's about as good as going bareback, okay? And I know that's very probably a little salty for the, you know, a little suggestive for the stream, but it's true. Like, I can't be expected to buy a guy's condom. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna be paying for your condom so you could stretch out my goddamn hole. Excuse me, God, and excuse my French. I'm not gonna pay for a guy's condom for that. Okay, if the guy is too much of a bum that he can't afford to buy himself his own condoms, like, dumpster, like, seriously, just throw him out the window. He sucks. And like, I told him, I said, like, if you don't have a job and you're not gonna be willing to get one, because he told me I can't get a job because I have school and like, I can't do it, you know. I'm like, you go to school 2 days a week, you could get a part-time job just sitting there doing nothing at a cash register. Well, you know what I mean. And like, I'm like, what do you know, if you can't get a job, how are you gonna, like, you know, and you want, I'm like, you want sex from me, but you don't want to buy, like, you don't want to get a job? Like, how the hell are you gonna buy condoms? He's like, well, you could go on birth control. I said, no, I cannot go on birth control because I'm taking medicine that will cause me to have another blood clot if I do that. So I cannot do that. And he's like, oh, well, he's like, well, you could blow me. I was like, no, I cannot blow you. And he's like, well, why not? I said, because no. And he's like, why not? All my other exes did it. I was like, what the fuck? I said, that's not a rite of passage, bro. I'm like, just because your other bitches did that for you doesn't mean I have to sit down and swallow your load, okay? I'm not gonna do that. So, like, he says shit like this, and it not only does it, like, make me be disgusted at how he kind of just wrote me off to be, like, not only do I have to be his mom, but I have to be his cum bucket. But I feel like he's out of, like, I feel like I'm out of his league, okay? I don't have to get on my knees and blow any fucking guy to get one, alright? That's for sure. I don't care. I could be 300 pounds or 10 pounds, and the guy will still date me even if I have to, like, even if I say like no to any kind of like sex or whatever. And I would never do that. I would never ever. And I'm angry that he would push that. And he's like, well, I don't know how else to do this. You know, I'm like, no, we cannot date. This is exactly why we can't date. Because, like, say if we dated and then he got drunk and I got drunk and something happened. Okay? And then I get pregnant or something. Who's going to take care of the kid if I die in childbirth? You know, you gotta, like, think of these things, guys. You can't just, like, be like, oh, well, we'll think about it later. No, you cannot. You can't just go in like a loose cannon and expect that things are gonna be hunky-dory. Like, shit doesn't fall out of the sky, guys. I mean, I know my iPhone did, or my Apple Watch did practically, but that's, you know, it's just not, you know, nobody's gonna come and clean up your mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're just, guys are just like, oh, well, you know, it's not my kid, it's not my kid, it's not my kid. I'm like, you know, like, I don't sleep around, so, yeah, if I get pregnant, it's probably gonna be that guy's kid. Because, well, it certainly isn't Jesus' kid, or Moses, or Bun's kid. You know what I mean? And if he don't have a job, who's gonna take care of it? I'm an orphan. My parents aren't here. They abandoned me. And worst case scenario, you have Bieber's kid and Steven isn't a... This is God, no problem getting rid of Steven now. No problem getting rid of Steven now. Oh yeah, I bet you Steven would run. Steven can't support no kid. He went and bought this rundown van from the pawn shop, and he's like, yeah, I bought this van for really cheap at the pawn shop. And I'm just looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why the hell would you even buy a car from the pawn shop? That's like not where you go to buy a car at all. You go to actual dealership to buy a car, not a pawn shop where things are gonna be falling apart. They're gonna do shit to like try to get money out of you to get you to pay more and shit. And when I saw Steven and what's his face get in the car, it says there's a monster down here. I don't know what the fuck it is though. Okay, when I saw Steven get in the car with him, their car broke down. The day that I met him, their car broke down. He's like, yeah, I just bought this car. And I'm like, your car just broke down. Like, what the hell is going on with this? You know what I mean? Like, why on earth would you... Oh, there's a fucking monster over there. Like, why on earth would you want me to get in the same vehicle with you if you don't know if that car is gonna break down? He's like, well, worst case scenario, we'll just spend more time together. And I'm like, yeah, where? In the middle of nowhere? Because he wanted me to go to Sebastian with him, which is like a 40-minute drive from where I live. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't think so. Because if that car breaks down, then we're going to be stuck in the middle of nowhere on the beach. And, like, if, like, something is sketchy, like, what if our phones die? And, you know, that, like, there's no place to charge it. There's no place to charge it. There's nowhere you can go to charge it because everything closes at 5. So you'll be stuck on the beach all day and all night. And it just doesn't seem reliable at all. And I don't trust it at all. What are these red things? I don't understand them. Oh, what is the deal with this? They're like choking on my blood or something?
How you like that silver?
I hate this. He's like gagging on my blood or whatever. Yeah, I mean, and then so he sat there and he's like, I don't understand why you don't want to move in with me. I'm like, you cannot even afford to buy a car and you want me to move in with you? How the hell are you going to pay for the rent? He's like, oh, I'm going to get a job, I promise you. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, if that's the case, why don't you just get your car fixed and move into a decent apartment? By the way, these Redfields guides, like, what's the deal with them? Like, is there a nest, or like, is it just there's a lot of them fuckers running around? Well, I know, but I mean, like, if you know any quick facts about them, that would be helpful. Like, is there, I mean, why, just a simple explanation. I mean, I could read it, but, and I might do it, but, like, yeah, I just want to know if you knew anything about them. More than what it might say. Anyway, so I talked to him, and I told him, I was like, I do not want to move in with your friend Steven. He's like, why not? He's a great guy. I said, who's gonna pay for the rent? He's like, well, I will. I will support you, and you'll be my princess, and we'll live happily ever after, and all this shit. And he's like, don't you want to go on an adventure? I'm like, no, I do not want to go on an adventure with you. He's like, well, worst case scenario, you could just move back. I'm like, move back and with my, like, roommate? Like, my roommate's gonna feel angry. Like, I just ditched him. Because, like, my roommate is actually, like, the only family I have. He took care of me when I had, like, surgery on my hip. And even though my roommate won't die, he won't die. Even though my roommate won't date me, he still cares about me. And, you know, it's just... it's a very complicated situation. You have a good one. Because, you know, it just, I don't know, jealousy and all kinds of shit. Because I don't know why he doesn't want to, like, date me, but when I, like, if I were to, like, run off with some other person, he would feel kind of, like, I don't know, like, I mean, I can understand if the guy was, like, a good guy, but he isn't a good guy. Like, he's just sitting there and he wants to, like, I think they're a human experience when they're about to explode, you need to roll out of the way so you don't take damage. Okay, I didn't know they did explode. I just thought they were, like, you know, like, their head exploded because, like, I slice them or something. Like, for some reason they have a lock on, so like once they get to like 3/4 of the health, they start like gagging, like as if they're sucking on the air or something, like a vampire would. And I can't seem to escape. So do you know why that is? Why is this idiot sitting in the water? Hey Whisper, how's it going? So yeah, like, I told him, I said, how are you gonna prove that you have a job? Like, that's the thing. Like, you don't move to a place that you don't know without a job lined up. That's common sense. And he's like, oh, I promise you'll have a good paying job. I promise this and I promise that. Like, you don't know that? Like, if that's... What do you mean, what the fuck am I doing? I'm killing monsters. What are you doing? Oh, really? That's neat. Whisper. Yeah, the UK is really good candy. I love their candy. Oh, that's good. So yeah, he's like, I don't understand why you won't move. And then so I told him, I was like, well, let me give you some logical reasons. One, I don't want to. And then he was just like, well, why not? I want you to move in with me and we could spend our lives together. And mind you, he started saying this shit, I noticed like a couple of days after I got this Apple Watch. Not even. Why is that swarm of flies on top of me? What's the deal with the flies? Oh great, it's a ghoul. hate those ghouls. Ghouls are too cool for school. I've never had the whisper, but like, holy fuck. Well, that was quick. Holy fuck! There's one behind me.
I like that silver.
At any rate, I told him that, because I said to him, that's not how, because he's like, I want to live my life, I want to spend my life together with you and live happily ever after, and all this bullshit. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, whatever, bro. Like, I don't, you know, I told him, I said, that's not how you ask a girl to marry you. I said, when you want a woman to live the rest of her life with you, you get on one knee, you present to her a beautiful 1-carat diamond ring with a gold band. That's how you ask a girl to live forever with you. And he's like, well, we're not dating, so like, and you know, we're not dating, and we haven't been dating for like a year. So I can't give that to you. I'm like, you just asked me to live the rest of my life with you, and you're telling me that you can't give me a ring? What you basically did was ask me to marry you. Duh. You don't ask a woman to live the rest of her life with you without a ring. You just don't do it. At least not with me. George Michael Leon. Good lad. Good lad. And, I told him, I said, like, look, like, you know, you're basically asking me to drop everything for you, and my life is in Florida. I said, for one, I'm not gonna marry you. Because it's just not, it's not happening, so don't even think about it, because you're not, you know, your life isn't in order. You're a hot mess, basically. Okay, how do I figure out which of these items needs the armor repaired? Because I don't know what those percentages mean. Or is it a weapon that needs repaired? Top bloke, Leon. Top bloke. No, he doesn't know you. He's just giving you shit, Whisper. Top bloke. But at any rate, I said to him, we don't live together. So how could you sit there and say, like, oh, you know, like, you know, we can't get married because we're not dating. Like, you're asking me to blow you, you're asking me to move in with you. That's asking me, like, basically intimate questions, and then you're like, oh, well, I don't want to spend money on a ring, but yeah, can you just be my live-in whore? Like, that's what it says to me. And, like, if, you know, if he was willing to take me in with pure intentions, I could understand thinking about it, but, like, I don't see any pure intentions. Like, my roommate here, he and I don't have sex, and he doesn't expect anything of me. So, like, why would I just, like, leave here without a, like, good reason, you know what I'm saying? But, and then he said, he's like, oh, well, you know, I don't understand why you won't come with me. Don't you trust me? Blah, 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 blah. And I said, no, I don't trust you. And he's like, why not? I said, because I don't know you. Like, I met you once in person. and you're like not being legit here, guys. And he said, what else he said? Oh, he said, well, can you give me an actual reason why you won't come? And I said, well, for one, the #1 place to go for broadcasting is New York, Florida, and Los Angeles. Like, you know, like California. Those are the top 3 places, and I plan on becoming an anchor on TV. And even if I left here, all my streaming equipment is here. The $3,000 gaming computer and streaming computer is here. This mic, I can't take this stuff with me. This is stuff that my producer owns. He owns this mic, he owns this arm for it, he owns the headset, the computers. And I was like, who's gonna pay for that shit? He's like, well, I will. I'm like, the computer alone is $3,000. How are you gonna pay for it? He's like, well, I'll save up money and do it. I'm like, you can't even buy yourself a damn car. How the hell are you gonna, like, how are you gonna, like, do this? And he's like, well, I don't know. I'll find a way. And I'm like, no, this is not happening. He's like, well, I'm sure you can find a nice broadcasting job or a modeling job here in, like, North Carolina. I said, I'm not going to bumfuck nowhere. I said, if I had a broadcasting job or a, say, like, a modeling job, don't you think I would have, like, a house on the beach, like, or, like, a penthouse looking over the city? Don't worry about Whisper, guys. I think he's drunk. No, Jeremy does streaming, but it doesn't get the audience that he wants it to get. He's not very... He's not very, what's a nice, polite way to say this? It's not his strong suit. Like, he doesn't have that personality where he could just sit there and talk for hours. When you are, like, a streamer, you need to be able to talk. If you don't talk, and you're just sitting there kind of just mumbling, or just not even talking at all, people get kind of annoyed and they leave. Because they feel like you're not doing anything. And some people will watch, but like you'll get maybe 3 watchers. See, I have like over 14,000 people that have viewed me on Facebook. Facebook streaming. I believe it's 14,000 if I'm correct. And on YouTube and Twitch, there's like at least 5,000 people. Let me look. Yeah, 5,000 people on Twitch. Well, you didn't need to tell me that for me to know that. I already know that you're nuts. Thank you. Yeah, I've been working my tail off. But when you look at his, I don't think he's had more than like 30 people view him or something like that. Like, it wasn't that grand. And he's like, well, I haven't had enough time to stream, and I haven't blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, it takes, like, time, you know, it takes a schedule, it takes time and investment. You can't just, like, not do the work and expect to make something of it. You gotta be able to, like, make something of yourself. And also the thing is that if you're gonna be streaming, you've gotta actually, like, be able to talk. And not just sit there and stare. You know what I mean?
They left us, look! All of them done went! We have to swim, come on! What about all this? We can't leave it! You go, find a boat, and come back for me. If you make it across.
Well, he doesn't do speed runs.
Why wouldn't I?
He takes
Be back
his
before you know
time,
it.
like, really slow. Everything okay, Whisper? That's the thing, he doesn't head towards the tower. Use the lamp to find Russell. He doesn't, it's not like he's breezing through the games. He just kind of sits there and poking around. And what he'll do is when he's gaming is he'll walk up slowly to every single thing, like this tree and then this tree, and then like he'll look at this tree and this tree and this tree, and he will cover every single fucking tree in this area, okay? That's how he is, and he looks and explores every inch of the game, and people are irritated. They want you to like quickly breeze through it as best as you can. I mean, like, it's one thing if you're in a game like this and you have to loot things, that's okay. Hugs back. For me, for some reason people enjoy speedrunning. Me personally, I prefer to enjoy the game. Yeah, I prefer to enjoy the game too. But if you're gonna be doing like this type of deal like I am,
They're on to us. They're not letting
need to,
Graham
like,
in.
do stuff like
Quiet, fool.
talk,
Babylon and
and
the
you
noble
need to
have
like
sent for you.
talk a lot,
Nah,
you know,
he
so that
sat
you
his
can
arse on
be,
silk
be
pillows, like he'd
entertaining.
been gobbling
Because
meat.
otherwise, if you don't want to like talk,
With no
you're just gonna
notion
find
he's
somebody
coming to
else who
tear him to
does.
shreds.
People want to be heard and acknowledged.
Waist
And
clear, lads.
they don't want to sit there and feel like they're being ignored because you don't know what to say to them. Like, you have to be kind of a social person, and he's just not that social. I mean, he's just you know, he's not me. And I mean, I suppose like I could try to teach him at some point, but like, you know, he also works a lot as an engineer. So like when he's working as an engineer and he comes home, he has arthritis. So like he has to sit there, stretch, ice, and eat. And by the time he's stretching, icing, and stuff, it takes him about 3 hours to, like, because every day he has to stretch, ice, and eat in the morning, and then he goes to work. So that's 3 hours in the morning. And then there's about 3 hours in the evening that he does the same process. He stretch, ices, eats, and then goes to bed. So he takes, essentially, that's 6 hours of his day plus an 8-hour job. So 6 plus 8 is what, like 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 hours of the day. And then he has to sleep and do chores too, because, you know, he's got to take care of himself. And there's some things that I'm physically not able to do because I have metal in my hips. So he has to actually help assist me with them. And by the time he's done like doing those things, he only has a few hours to himself. It's a rather unfortunate, but like that's life. Well, fuck you, Jewel. You know, and so with all that going on, I mean, then what does he do? Stream like an hour or what? Come back here, hoe. Where you going? Oh, see? See, they do that sucking thing. I'm like, what the fuck is that sucking thing all about? Oh boy. Seems like I still got attached. I don't even see the monster. I am hurricane time. I'm very comfortable. But yeah, that's exactly what you need in your streams, is you need dedication. From working class, Geordie lad in the Northwest, how did you do? Yeah, like, well, I mean, the hours, I mean, he gets paid a decent amount of money, like a really good sum of money for his hours. I mean, he probably would make, probably makes more money right now, just sticking to what he does, as opposed to like if he were to venture out and just pick up some job like as this. I mean, like, if he was really successful as a streamer, like, if he could maintain that bubbly persona, like, he could be very successful as a streamer. But in all retrospects, and, you know, knowing him like I know him, he cannot be that type of person. He isn't bubbly. He just, you know, some people are extroverts and some people are introverts. Well, Jeremy, actually, he's my producer. He already has his PhD. Shit. I didn't get to see the ghost. He has his PhD from Georgia Tech, so he doesn't need it.
Millie, we gotta flee. Quick now. Millie. Millie, what's with you? I don't know. So burning. Ah. What? No. No, stay back. Don't leave me.
I wish there was like a weapon repair kit. His body there. Looks like he left him. But yeah, like he's a nice guy. I mean, he was the leader of our youth group too. But like I don't know, like I think he's a very laid back guy, and that's great, but like you need something more engaging, and it's not that I don't think he has the ability to do it. It's just I feel like he's not gonna do it because he doesn't really know how. What's with all the rats? Bye bye rats.
Place is full of rats. As many dead as alive. Think they're feeding on...
Geralt, stop. You needn't be so detailed.
You needn't be so detailed. But yeah, like I mean, he's good because like you know there was a lot of stuff that my parents didn't do for me to support me that I needed help with, and he helped me where they didn't.
Nicely.
And so like yeah, I mean like so when this Justin Bieber guy is like, oh yeah, like let's run away together, basically, I was like, no. We've only met once, and like, you know, I've seen a life where, I mean, granted there's been times my roommate's been very mean, but for the most part my roommate has taken care of me. Why would I give up that kind of life for a life of poverty? You know, I'm not in love with him like the Justin Bieber guy. I'm not. I don't find, you know, I don't base love off of like looks. That doesn't really do it for me. I base love off of actions, because true love is putting your significant other before yourself. And to be honest, I don't think I can put Justin Bieber before myself. I don't think I can, because he does not do anything to help his own life, and if I were to date him and something were to happen, like God forbid it, but like say it does, you know, he wouldn't be able to support himself. Personally, part of me feels like he would be so reliant on me that I would be the one raising him, and I don't want to raise the guy. And I eventually got so mad at him because he tried to like browbeat me into moving in with him. It was like he saw that video with me and opening that box of Apple Watch, and he was just kind of like, oh my gosh, OMG, boobs, and watches and like I think he thought, well, great, I'm gonna get like this really attractive girl. Ew, where these rats come from? What the fuck? You know, that like he could get this attractive girl to take care of him, who's busty, and that he wouldn't have to pay for anything anymore or like have to support himself. And I personally think his mother and father don't want to support him anymore because they actually are telling him the same things that I'm telling him, that he needs to get up and get a job and, you know, and all this stuff. But then he turns around and says, oh, well, my mother said I can't get a job because I'm in school right now. Like, he acts like a kid, and it's when he starts saying stuff like, oh yeah, like, you know, my mommy said I can't do this or that. That's when I'm like, oh, fuck this, and I run the other direction because I don't want to get wound up into dating somebody that acts like they're in high school. Like, I did high school back in high school. This is your grandfather. Walter Horseman. I see. That's a weird name, Horseman.
I found some selections. Bajik Horseman. The Horseman.
What?
Comes the Horseman. Would you like to hear the rest?
No. Sorry, Siri does that. At any rate, he tried to guilt trip me into moving in with him by saying, oh, I thought you wanted to date me. And I'm like, I never said I wanted to date you. I said that I cannot date you so long as you act like this.
Blood. Many must have died here.
And he's just like, it's an interesting name. What does that sound?
Where's that? Where's that noble? Lying here, quiet as a mouse, head split open like a rotted pumpkin. More like a peasant now, sloshing around in his own blood and shite. Be nothing noble about him. Too quick a death they gave him. Should have been made to suffer. He's not the end of it. Sons can suffer for him, and the daughter. To the top!
I guess somebody's stuck up there. But at any rate, I just kind of felt like they didn't, that he didn't respect my wishes, and I told myself, look, if you actually, like, really wanted to be with me, you would listen to what I'm telling you and not push it. You wouldn't expect me to change my life for you. And I said, I intend on getting a very good job to where I get a six-figure salary, and it's not going to be able to happen from where you are. It's creepy down here.
Rich folk. Doubt I'll ever understand them. Keeping rats in cages like rabbits.
Let him out, maybe? Like to die of hunger if we leave him there.
I'd sooner burn the vermin. Releasing him's not like to bring no good. Imagine the harm they'd do if they swam back to the village.
Swam? Rats? How do you figure they'd do that?
You needn't fret for him. Clever little bastards. Clever than you.
They seem sluggish to you. Got the mange, maybe? Oh, and that stench!
That's really weird. I hate their insistent squeaking. But yeah, I told him, I said, like, I don't want to move there because of those reasons. And he's like, oh, well, you can find a job.
Come on.
Over there. You can find a job here. There's tons of jobs. I don't see why you can't do this. I said, you're asking me to change my life course for you when we're not even married. I'm like, no. There's no reason for you to leave Florida. He's like, oh, I don't want to live here anymore. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing to do. I'm like, if you think there's nothing to do here, just wait till you get to North Carolina. There's definitely nothing to do there. Because what are you going to do? Sit there and fuck all day? Like, because it's just... doesn't... No. Craig's parents are rich. Craig didn't ask me to date him either. Ew, this looks nasty with all these fucking flies. And I got really aggravated with him. And I finally was like, I said, no, the answer is no, I'm not moving. You're gonna have to get over it. I said, maybe you should move with Steven, with some other girl, and leave me behind because I just don't want to go. I don't want to be stuck there. I like the warm ocean here. Well, it's actually kind of cool, but I mean, I like the warmth here. I like the tropical plants. Like, this is my home, and I don't want to leave. Well, then again, most people wouldn't call themselves rich, even if they were rich. But I don't love anybody. I'm like this heartless ice queen, don't you know? That guy's like, stop it, Leon, you're making me embarrassed. Fucking rats. Hearing doors move and shit scaring the shit out of me. And I just, you know, and he got fucking angry with me and he just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and I was like, the answer is no, stop pushing, and I hung up after like quite some time of fighting.
Don't start, Annabelle. Back to your craft. Don't start, Annabelle. Back to your craft. Always bending my ear about fool peasants. I'll not hear of them again. That simpleton turned your head. Don't start, Annabelle. Back to your craft. Don't start, Annabelle. Back to your craft. Always bending my ear about fool peasants. I'll not hear of them again. That simpleton turned your head, but one Graham hardly makes the rest courtly, one and all.
My lord, peasants! They're through the door in the tower.
I thought you were into me, Leon. I've never even seen Craig's face. Why would I date him if I've never even seen him? I don't just run into relationships with people who haven't shown me their faces. Well, no, but we have blind dates in America. Usually they don't go very well. Somebody's always setting you up with some stupid moron that isn't usually worth half your worth half the time. Which I find quite annoying. They always try to set you up with some guy that's like, that looks like a bum, and you look like $1,000. Like, they're always like 1,000% worse off than what you look. And it drives me nuts. Like the guy, and then the guy will be a complete bum. He'll not only look bad, but be bad. Like, he's not even taking care of himself. I already answered that question. Oh yeah, like one time I was at this club and there was this semi-decent looking guy that was there, and he was like, oh, hey, how's it going? And he tried to hit on me, and I was like, oh, I'm going great. And I'm like, okay, this guy's kind of decent looking. I figured I'd be there just to like make a friend, not particularly to like look for a husband or something. And so I told him like, oh, well, you know, I said something like, I'm doing great, and then he said, hey, after hitting on me, he's like, I'd really like you to meet a good friend of mine. His name is Brian or something. And I was just like, oh, okay. They're like, he's a really nice guy, but he's really shy. And I said, okay. And they brought me over to meet him, and he looked like Andre the Giant had his face, like, just rearranged or something. Like, he did not look good at all. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I took one look at the guy, and he didn't shave. I'm like, you didn't shave? I mean, I didn't say that, but I'm thinking, he looked like he didn't even shave or shower or anything, and he just showed up at the club, and not only was he ugly looking, but he just looked like the big ugly brute. Okay, and normally I like really tall guys, or at least guys that have a nice face or like something going for them, but this guy had zero going for him. And when I met him, one of the things his friends had said was, oh, he's between jobs right now and he's really shy. So not only didn't he have a job, but he had nothing going for him at all, and he didn't even wash. I'm like, at least wash. And then he took one look at me, and the guy, like, practically shit his pants. Like, he was so scared, you know, of rejection or whatever. I was just like, all I could say was, like, my mouth just opened, like, wow. Like, I couldn't believe that I had some guy try to hook me up with, like, probably one of the most ugly guys I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, if the guy was really, really ugly, but he was a good guy, like, you know, took care of me and, like, treated me right and was there for me and, like, had a good support system, maybe made me laugh a lot, like, something, like, some real swag there. Goon, you're funny. Yeah, I think he's just trying to play matchmaker or something. I'm not really sure why. But yeah, like, the guy had absolutely nothing going for him, and I'm not materialistic. But I'm not, like, I wasn't born yesterday.
Go! enough of it. Oh, won't do the dead any good now, will it? Strange you're still here. The noble died a time ago. Who's that? Show yourself. Anyone there? Who are you?
Looks like they stole the gold. Well, I mean, you know, that's, you know, but that's like up to him, you know what I mean? Like, that's not, can't make people like each other, you know what I mean? I don't think he liked me anyway. Is it anything more than a friend? But yeah, I just didn't. Verdon's armor and garrison. I thought I already owned that. I didn't like things that was this like a serial killer pad. I didn't like the things that that kid was saying, and I eventually hung up on him because he made me feel like I was being cornered and pushed into something, and he has not talked to me all day. I don't know who Ron Perlman is. Yeah, like, I've dated some guys that are ugly, but they have good personalities. Like, I mean, if the guy treats me right, he doesn't have to look like a 10 out of 10. Oh, it's Hellboy? These rats are disgusting.
Where are you? Have you got to the laboratory at the top of the tower yet?
I'm at the top. Nothing here that looks like a laboratory.
Then you've not reached the highest level. Look for a passage.
I'm gonna guess it's over here, but I'm gonna make sure that I have everything I want first. Sounds like, looks like I found the passageway. So is it a puzzle? Well, that did something. Better save real quick. Yeah, it is super important.
Looks like a laboratory.
You're funny.
Pretty well equipped, too.
Why did you leave? You claimed to love me. I'm cold. Why has no one come for me? I cannot leave this place. I see no way out. Who are you? Do you seek to hurt me as well?
What's a good bit?
I'm a witcher. I want to lift the curse that grips this island. Your turn to tell me who you are. The other ghosts, they couldn't see me.
I'm special. Always was. The rare beauty. The Lord's daughter. These lands, as far as the eye can see, were ours. My family and I, we hid in the Mage's Tower to await the war's end, the end of hard times. It was not to be forever.
Mage who lived here. Who was he?
Alexander? I hardly knew him. He spent most of his time locked away in this tower. He's dead too, you know. They're all dead. Mountains of corpses, yet I stand here alone, all alone. They've all abandoned me. Even he who promised me everlasting love. You will abandon me as well.
If I can lift the curse, you yourself will be free to leave. Tell me what happened here. Peasants sailed to the island to ask for food. Is that true?
No. They came to rob and kill. They thought us rich, believed we'd stowed ourselves away here to laugh at their misery. Yet we had little food as well. Too little to share with those who came. They slaughtered everyone. I heard my father cry out, but the mage told me not to reveal myself or let anyone in. He gave me a potion. If I was discovered, I was to drink it. He said everything would be all right.
What kind of potion was it? Remember its smell? What it looked like?
I remember only that I feared to drink it.
Didn't trust the mage?
In the village, they claimed he meddled in disease. Not curing it, but causing it. They said he lured rats into the tower, infected them with the Catriona. Only rumors, surely, but I was afraid. So horribly afraid. And then I heard him. My beloved Graham. He called to me. I opened the door for him, but others rushed in. They lunged at me and...
Your beloved failed to save you. Why?
There were too many. Leave her be, he shouted. He grabbed at them, tried to stop them. They just laughed.
Did they hurt you?
They gripped my arms, tore at my dress. I managed to free myself and drink the potion, and then... nothing.
Poisoned. That how you died?
No, for I later awoke. I was alone, it was dark. Only there were rats everywhere. Dozens. Hundreds. And I couldn't move.
Sleeping potion. Effects hadn't worn off yet. You were paralyzed.
They were everywhere. All over me like insects. My face, my hands. I felt them rip open my skin, then crawl into my stomach. They tore me apart, and I could not even scream. Have I not suffered enough? Why can't I leave this place?
Can you talk to the island's other specters?
No, I'm alone here. The others, they flee when they see me. I know not why. You do not fear me, do you?
No. Used to dealing with ghosts. Though, gotta admit, there's something about you. You're different. You weren't the last to die on this island. Found a fresh corpse in the tower.
The island's a dangerous place. Folks should not venture here. I too wish to leave.
The dead man looked like a monster had attacked him recently. The tower home to anything else?
How am I to know? There's lots of wraiths here. I hear them whispering every night.
Not talking about ghosts. A monster who hunts here. You must have noticed something.
I don't know. I've noticed naught. Why do you ask? Why must you press me so? You're to be my savior, not my tormentor.
How can I help you?
A curse born of hatred binds me to this place. Only love's power can hope to lift it. But who could love a wraith?
And your beloved, he dead too?
Graham? No, he lives. I would know if he died. But he fled and abandoned me. Left me here all alone.
Maybe you could strip the curse of its power by forgiving him. You might cleanse the Isle. Your beloved, who is he? A noble son?
No, a poor fisherman. My father objected, strongly. He did not see us together. I miss him so. Each night I walk to the island shore to gaze upon the village.
How long did it take you?
Does he remember me still?
Said before you can't leave the tower.
Did I? You must have misheard.
I don't think so.
I don't know anymore. It's all a nightmare to me.
I think she's lying.
As I see it, you're the curse's focus. The other ghosts on the island, their auras aren't nearly as strong as yours. My medallion started pulsating as soon as we started talking.
I don't know what you mean, but you do seem to know some things. You could be right. My fate is tied to the Isle, I feel that. Perhaps because I am heiress of these lands.
It could be your blood ties to the land, the base of the curse, that is. If so, forgiving Graham, laying your resentment to rest should lift it.
I loved him. I'm prepared to forgive him. But I must know that he regrets what he did.
I used to stream
Take my bones to him. He must bury them. This will be our farewell. Will you speak to him? Will you do this for me?
Really sad story, but something's not right. Got a feeling.
What is it?
You're not telling me everything. You know the island's dangerous, but refuse to tell me about the monster that lives here.
There is no monster.
I think you're lying. Question is, why? To protect the beast? Or is it that...
Stop! I will not hear this!
I can't help you. Taking anything off this cursed island, from any cursed place, just too dangerous. And a dead woman's bones, that's asking for trouble.
They said witches are heartless beasts. Will you bring Graham here then? I so long to say goodbye.
Annabelle, listen.
You never wish to help me, and here I have someone would finally take pity on me.
Uh-oh. So maybe she's the monster?
Damn it, gotta catch them.
Oh, good. Oh, fuck, I think I missed her. Like, what's the deal with that girl? Is this a hard part of the game? I fucking hate this. gosh, I can't see anything. Oh, but if I lose her, I don't actually, like, have a problem with her. At the wind. I wonder if they ever show what she looked like when she was like.
You cannot kill me. You know it. What was that? It sounded for a moment like you joined the race yourself.
Had to fight a pester.
A pester? And did you learn how to lift the curse before you lunged at her, sword in hand?
Yeah, we talked a bit. Looks like I need to get her beloved to the island. Fisherman named Graham.
I know the man. He lives in Oriton, village on the lakeshore. Find him immediately. We're close to unraveling this. I can feel it.
Or isn't to... Well, you gave up on this area? Like, what area are you talking about that you gave up on? I wonder if her... Like, I wonder what monster it is that killed the people, if it was her man or if it was somebody else. And for some reason, the rats opening her stomach just didn't seem like it made any sense to me. I mean, that could be true, but I don't know, just something doesn't seem right with her story. I never really understood Gwent or whatever it's called. Did you guys help her, or? Or maybe she is the monster, I don't know. Where it says like the sword is red like that, what does that mean? That it's damaged? Okay. Or maybe it's made, I don't know. How do you fix it? If there's somebody nearby, I don't see them. Where's that glitch? where do you get the repair kit? 'Cause I only have an armor repair kit. Oh, fuck. There's something coming after me.
I don't want to see no one.
You've got to!
Just leave me be.
You won't be as cocky as the Baron's mad to whip your arse.
I want to talk.
You're deaf, damn it! I told you. Who are you?
I've been to the island. I know what happened there.
What you want of me?
Want to talk to you about Annabelle.
Annabelle? What can you know about her?
I met her. Talked to her.
Annabelle's dead. Drank poison. And I couldn't save her.
Did you love her?
Something mad. Loved her so deep I believed we'd come through, believed we'd be together. Of course, it was not to her father's liking. His daughter and a plain lout.
What happened on Fyke Isle? You gotta tell me.
'Twere Millie, Finch and Faulkner. They rallied the men, all roughs, to go to the Isle, take back what was ours from the noble. They knew I was known at the tower, that the Lord's servants would open the gate for me since I sold them fish.
They forced you to go with them?
No, I saw my chance in it. For Annabelle and me to flee. But it all spun in a chaos. Our boys from the village, they started killing everyone. Annabelle, they wanted to rape. First, then she drank the poison. Mage must have gave it her. I ran out the tower, hollering that I wanted to die, cursing them all to hell. Don't force me to speak of it. No more, please.
Said you were hollering as you fled the tower, the island. What exactly did you say?
I don't remember. I wanted them to pay for what they'd done to her.
Might have cursed them. There's a powerful magic aura on Fyke Isle. Passions, evil intent, strong emotions of any kind can activate it. Your words could be the curse's source.
She took the poison because of them.
It wasn't poison. Annabelle drank a strong sleeping potion. Mage wanted to protect her, make it look like she was dead. Convinced everyone.
That means... Is she... You said you spoke to her?
Spoke to her ghost. By the time she awoke, tower was full of cold corpses. And rats. She was warm meat. Rats ate her alive.
You mean... She was alive the whole time? But... It can't be. She was cold all through like a corpse. I shook her, begged her, open your eyes. I never thought...
Annabelle needs you. You can help her.
She's still there. In the tower. Can I see her?
Yeah. One thing you should know, though. In death, Annabelle turned into a pesta.
A pester? What's that?
More than a restless ghost. A plague maiden. A powerful wraith filled with grief and hatred that drive her. Give her the power to sow disease and death.
She suffers. How am I to help her? Gods know I'm willing.
A curse has imprisoned Annabelle and the other spirits on the island. Love can shatter its power, free her and them.
Just as in the legends.
If you know the legends, you know one kiss is enough to break an evil spell. On one condition. That it's a kiss from someone whose love is true.
I told you. I said I love her with all my heart. Take me to her, please.
It's dangerous. There are risks involved. Understand that, don't you?
Of course. I'm no coward. I'll not run this time.
Nothing. Let's go.
I'm ready.
It's an interesting quest.
Let's go to the tower.
Last I came through here, I still hoped Annabelle and me it weren't impossible. We could have been together, and now she's dead. And it's my fault. If only I'd been able to protect her.
Can't change the past, but you can still help Annabelle to move on, to rest in peace.
It's terrifying here. It's too quiet.
Chop chop, speed up. Let's get this over with.
I remember the screams. Inhuman they were. Now it's silent. They're dead. All are dead.
Don't think about that. Keep walking.
Interesting quest. I wonder what those other levers were pulled.
You have not forgotten. You've returned for me.
Is that?
Don't you recognize me? It's me, Annabelle. The one you abandoned, remember?
I was sure you was dead. If I'd known otherwise, I'd never have left you. I'd do anything for you. I would. You know that well. Believe me, I beg you.
Prove it. Kiss me.
Graham, careful.
Yeah. Whoa. What happened?
At last.
curse is lifted, and Graham and Annabelle are reunited.
She killed him? Oh. Did she kill him? Wow, that's awful.
Experimenting on humans. Never would have gotten away with it if the Conclave were still in charge.
Thank you. It's a little creepy though, I'm not gonna lie. Hey.
Hey, Carrie.
How's it going?
It's doing okay. How are you?
What do you mean that was the best ending to the quest? Good. And I'm tired. Just give me a minute. I'm reading something. What do they mean by observing the ill might throw her into foul humors is what when it comes to Annabelle? What are foul humors? Observing the ill.
Wait, what now?
Oh, like I'm reading an article that's in the game. Hold on a second. Alright, so yeah, I'm playing Witcher, and there's apparently a monster that eats people and stuff, and take your time, Leon. And I don't know what it is yet. Have you played any of the Witcher games?
Me? No, not really.
They're kind of fun. They're very, full of, Nudity, though, that's for sure. And a lot of gore.
Gore doesn't really bother me that much. Nudity kind of does bother me.
Well, yeah, because it's probably going to give you a boner of some sorts, I'm guessing, if you're a guy.
No, I pass out at the sight of nudity.
What? Why?
I don't know. I just know that the instant I see someone naked, unless it's a guy, I black out instantly.
Are you bi or gay or something?
No.
Well, why? Are you just afraid?
I honestly don't know. I've been trying to look into it for the longest time, and I have no idea why it happens.
Maybe it has something to do with your childhood.
Maybe, but I don't recollect anything that traumatized me. You hear a lot of purring. My cat's with me.
Let's see. 1 minute, let me read this.
Is it just me and you and call, or is Michael here, or what?
I don't know where the hell Michael is, but give me a minute, I'm reading this, hold on. Let alone enthusiasm for the noble work in which they are taking part. In fact, it seems they consider the research part of their punishment. I've tried a few times, so I'm not. They are contributing to the research. The greatest place for maintaining. Okay, sorry, I was reading something. I don't know where Michael is, to be honest with you. You know, part of me is beginning to care less and less, considering that it's so typical of him when he gets into a game, he just forgets that I even exist. You know, and I'm like, you know, whatever. Like, he doesn't want to be there, he doesn't have to be there. There's a billion other guys that want to date me.
Did Leon ever get a Skype, or?
I believe Leon did, but I don't know if he wants to be in a call or not. He never really attempted to call me. Every time I talked about real life with him, he was kind of like, always, it seemed like he was afraid, and I felt like he was gonna like run away or something every time I did, which is kind of annoying, because it's like, I don't know why you're running. It's not like I, you know, I'm gonna hurt you or something.
I mean, reality is reality. There's nothing we can really do about it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't force him, you know.
Anything new with you?
I went to a retreat today.
Oh, awesome.
Retreat. Yeah, it was okay. I wanted to, like, smother someone because they're just being very...
Kept in there until the end. What a shitty way to die.
It's awful. They just kept those corpses there. Really sad. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, the people kind of were very cliquey. We went there last year, and like there was a lot of priests, like people trying to become priests. Yeah, and then for some reason they all like left. Like a lot of those people that were seminarians left. And so when we came there this year, like 90% of the guys that were there were gone. I was like, what the hell? And some of the guys that were there were really good guys. That were like, you know, but I thought sure as heck would be the next, you know, like I thought they were really religious and whatever, like. But it appears that I guess they changed their mind, I don't know. And then a lot of the people there, like, we had this one really annoying girl that was in our group, for our small group, and she sat there and made every single topic about her, and I wanted to just strangle her. Like, I took out my Apple Watch, and I texted Jeremy, and I'm like, I wish this girl would shut the fuck up. Because she was dominating the whole conversation. And, like, we were assigned a seminarian per each small group, and the guy was trying to talk, and she would just, like, start rambling about something totally irrelevant to the topic at hand. Which the topic at hand was about St. Therese of Lisieux. Then the seminarian, where he did try to talk us about St. Therese, he didn't even know how to pronounce her name properly, which made me even more aggravated. And then, like, he would sit there and ramble himself, and I'm like, gee, I didn't come all this way 3 fucking hours to listen to people ramble. And that irritated me. And then I went to confession because, you know, I thought it might help. I changed my religion back to Catholic. And then I went to church, and while I was at church, all of a sudden, this guy who plays Blades in the Guild. Have you ever heard of the Guild?
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is.
It's like a show about a bunch of role players. Almost fell off the edge here. Yeah, it's about a bunch of role players that got famous, and I had added him weeks ago, and he finally accepted my friend request. I was like, thank God. I can't believe we left all these corpses here out to rot, and like didn't even release them. And the sunlight, like the rain was pouring on them and shit. Not cool. But yeah.
Oh boy.
He did, like, he added me and we talked a little bit because I had added him. So it's like, oh nice. Like, I finally got like a celebrity add me. So that was cool, but then I had that young group thing I went to. And it was okay. I wanted to scream because all these people are like, oh, they're like, oh, we're so religious, praise Jesus, OMG, like, we're wonderful, and they go to this event, and what people don't realize is these events are for bonding, to make new friends. And what do? They all, like, huddle together in cliques, and they all turn and look at you like you have the plague or something. Which isn't very helpful, considering, like, you know, if you're trying to grow and make friends, you know, you feel kind of like odd one out because you're not part of their little clique. And I found it quite annoying because I came there from 3 hours away just to meet new people that were nice. And then there was 2 people from our old group that were there. And they're these 2 twins that are like the most retarded people I have ever met. They're retarded because they expect that every girl be like just this like pure and innocent virgin that's like supermodel thin with like blonde hair and like blue eyes and just perfect body and perfect boobs and perfect everything and never had sex before, just waiting for them. And I look at them and then they're like 25 and I'm just like, okay, so you want a perfect girl, but you are not a perfect guy, and like, just what they're looking for is ridiculous. Most people have sex by the time they're like 11 nowadays. And they're sitting there looking at me like I'm trash. I've tried 3 different occasions to try to like befriend them and they act like I'm not even there. And then they laugh at me later, and then we were at church, Jeremy and I, and they saw me, those twins. They saw me and they were like, oh. Well, they were like pointing and laughing at me and shit, and I got really angry because I felt like they just were not respecting me at church, and I know they were pointing at me because they had to actually turn around to do so. And like, then later on we were gonna eat dinner with the seminarians, which was, to be honest, like a really utter shame because they actually just gave us some pasta that they undercooked. And it was not good, and they gave us some like watered down meat and shit. Yeah, it was awful. I mean, it's like ground beef that was watered down, and it tasted like crap. And then I tried to bond with one girl, and she was like, no. And then I tried to think what else. Basically, I felt like when I went to talk to this one girl, she started talking to the guy next to me. Like guy as in like girl, whatever. I'm like really tired.
It's okay.
And they started talking over me, and I tried to like be a part of their conversation, and they just ignored me, and I got really frustrated and tired with it, and I was like, you know what, I'm quitting. And so I'm going to, but Bun is like, you know, I don't want anything to happen to her, so, but at any rate, it was, I felt like I was around a lot of fake people when I went to that retreat, and I just cannot stand fake people. Luckily, we were only there a few hours, because if we were there for any bit longer, I would have probably screamed. Because I just can't stand fake people.
I understand that.
That drives me nuts.
That bothers me that people are just so damn fake these days. It's like, it seems like the truth and just, you know, people that just give you the cold hard truth are so hard to come by. They'd rather just sit there and sugarcoat and lie and just basically like talk circles around you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can kind of understand that with me because, like, I'm always completely 100% with everyone. If they can't handle it, then that's their problem, not mine.
Yeah, people can't always handle my 100% because I tend to be very blunt about it and stuff.
And granted, I'm not always honest, but I will be blunt, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's not really in my especially based off past experiences, that, you know, I can't just sit there and lie. Like, I'd rather smack someone in the face with the truth than comfort them with a lie, because, you know, lies are like boomerangs. They find their way back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Does it suck? Yeah, but no one ever dies from really telling the truth, honestly. Yeah, people are gonna get pissed off at you, but hey, let them get pissed. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Too real for you? Oh well. It's what reality is. You learn to be real and you give it.
Basically, they don't like it when I, like, confront them and I'm like, you know, being like, oh, well, you're ignoring me or whatever. But with these two twin guys, like, they were laughing at me at church, and then when we got to dinner, one of the guys, he actually walked right past me and looked at me and pretended like he didn't see me when I was sitting in a location to where everybody had to pass me. And I had a full table of chairs that he could sit at and talk to me, and not once did he even try to stop and say hello to me. And then, like, Jeremy, like, cornered him, and he's like, oh, look, you know, I think you forgot to say hello to Carrie, and he personally did that on purpose just so that they would feel awkward. And then Steven was like, oh, hey, Carrie, I didn't even see you there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm real invisible nowadays, apparently. And he was so embarrassed. It was great.
Good.
Yeah, it's like, that's what you get, because you, like, I mean, he
Keep doing your job, Jeremy.
Yeah, well, he can't hear you. He's, like, asleep. But, like, yeah, literally, like, I felt...
I need more people like him in this world.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like, I mean, like, literally, do I look, like, that bad that you can't even, like, look at me? Like, sincerely, that's ridiculous. You know?
Like, I can understand if, like, I'm surrounded by a crowd of people, like, around you, but, like, if you're just in plain sight, like, how do you miss that?
Yeah, I know, right? And it's like as if I wasn't good enough for him, although he does, like, some really creepy shit.
I will tell you, though, if I don't notice you at first, I'm highly oblivious.
Yeah, but, like, it's kind of hard to miss someone that's, you know, right in front of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he instead of sitting at the table that was bluntly empty with me, he decides to sit to the table right next to the one I was at. So that's how I know that he was ignoring me, because it was like, you just literally walked right past me on purpose to sit to the table right next to mine. I could understand if he just kept walking and he was looking in the wrong direction, but he was looking in the same, he was like he looked right at me, and it is in people's normal human behavior to go sit at the table that's empty, you know? So that way they're not feeling crowded. I mean, unless they're, like, looking for a very crowded table where you could hardly sit. But it wasn't like that. He wasn't looking for a table where he could hardly sit. He just decided, well, I'm going to sit at this table so I can avoid her. And it's, like, ridiculous, because I used to belong to the same church that he did. And yet, he was treating me like trash, probably because of that one bitch, Ernie, I told you about. The one girl that tried to break me up with, like, all my ex-boyfriends and shit. So, yeah. And then, like, eventually I got so sick and tired of, like, the fakeness of the event that I was like, Jeremy, we gotta get the fuck out of here right now. He's like, why? What's wrong? I'm like, I can't take it anymore. And he's like, alright, I understand. I mean, because we literally we got there at about, like, 3 or 4, and the event ended at 8, and before the event could even end, I was already feeling suffocated. So, like, when I feel like people are being fake, I start to feel suffocated, like, as if someone, like, actually, you know, just smothered me with a pillow, because all the fakeness that's going on in that picture is just enough to make me puke. Like, I feel so sick to my stomach because I feel like I'm around liars And I don't like liars because I'm not a liar. Like, I'm not like that type of girl. I don't like it when people are acting like they're in high school and shit. Like, high school was meant to stay in high school, you know what I mean?
Some people just don't get out of that high school vibe. It's just, it lingers with them the rest of their lives. It's just like they have to regularly feed off of negativity just to get their fill.
Oh, I'm
and it's
sure.
sad, too.
Yeah, and it's really sad, and I just felt like, I thought to myself, you know, like, I didn't want to get to that event late, but, like, I thought to myself, thank God I did. Because, like, I would have probably, like, screamed at someone if I was there for any bit longer than I was. Like, I just could not take the bullshit, you know what I mean?
I understand.
Yeah, so, I mean, but, like, the one good thing is that, you know, I was able to get that celebrity to add me. But other than that, yeah, I saw a girl that had, like, she had, like, a walker. And I felt bad for her, and I tried to be like, don't worry, I'll be your friend. I understand what it's like to be on a walker. Because I used to be on a walker. And now I walk on my own. And while I was talking to her, she rudely decided to start a conversation with the girl right on the other side of me, and then wouldn't even include me in her conversation. Yeah, and I was just like, what the hell is this bullshit? And I tried to, like, talk to her, like, twice while she was doing that or so, and she just kind of, like, ignored that I even existed. So I was like, fuck this shit. By the time that was done and all the whole shenanigans, I just was like, yeah, I'm gonna walk away.